Hey, and welcome to another episode of the Brand Builder Show. Super pumped to have my good friend John Elder back with us today. John, thanks for coming on.
Absolutely, it's great to be here.
And we're excited to announce the FBA Freedom Challenge. This is something John and I have been working on now for a couple of months, and we've just opened doors up to it. And so I thought I'd bring John on and just really chat through what we're going to be up to through the week, and really how we're structuring it. But more importantly, for podcast listeners, how you can actually build your own freedom business and why it's important to do so. So, John, are you excited for the challenge?
Absolutely, it's going to be a challenge for the ages. I think it's going to be educational, exciting, inspirational. So it's going to be a good time to help some people kind of get off their feet off the ground and get their Amazon business started. So it's going to be good.
Definitely. Yeah, we've designed it to be quite different to the standard kind of, webinar or training or course. It's designed to be a lot more interactive, help people take action steps, which I know is one of the things, a lot of people struggle with. So we're really excited about that. We'll talk a little bit more about how it's going to work maybe towards the end, but if anybody is interested in signing up, they'll be able to do so in the link below in the description. But I thought it'd just be good to talk about maybe some of the ethos behind, why we're doing this as a challenge, and why we're excited to help people. And I think the biggest thing that it comes back to that we're both super excited about in the Amazon space is this idea, this possibility of building an asset, right? You can build a business that becomes an asset. It's something that, I'm on the journey of. It's something that you've done, selling your business for 7 figures in recent years, but bringing it back to the core of, the mentality behind it. Why should people that are listening look, beyond just Amazon, beyond a business model? What is it about building assets, gaining financial freedom? Why are these things so important in life, do you think?
It really comes down to, what you want out of life. I think most people, if you really talk to them, they want to spend more time with their family. They want to, go on vacation whenever they want.
Yeah.
They don't want to be stuck in 2 weeks of vacation dealing with managers. So it really comes down to time freedom, and that's exactly what I experienced. So, it's just a real joy to be able to, shift your schedule whenever you want. Work remote if you want. Amazon businesses are great because you could be in Asia, you could be anywhere overseas and be working on your business. And so while you're building up your asset, your brand, you can be at the beach. And then the real benefit with selling your asset is, you could choose to do something else in your life. You could just, rinse and repeat. There's all sorts of different journeys there that can happen, but it gives you flexibility because we're talking about big numbers. We're talking about multi-millions. And so that puts you in a position of maybe taking some time off like I did, and really thinking about what you want to do next.
Yeah, definitely. There's so much flexibility there, like you say. I couldn't believe it. I'm originally from the UK, and we get standard would be like 4 weeks holiday per year, vacation
That's a
time.
lot.
In the
Yeah.
US, it's 2 weeks, right? In the US.
Yeah, and actually, when you first start out as an employee, a lot of companies you get like 5 days. So you have to
That's crazy.
slowly earn your vacation time. Yeah, it's
Crazy. But more reason to be able to build something where you can, because like you say, I think you nailed it, is the money is great, but I think people get distracted by the those numbers in a bank account. What's the most important asset above all is time, right? Time with your family,
absolutely.
time to choose, so no, that's good. That's good. And building an Amazon business is not just about the exit and the big money you can make at the end. It's like you say, you can run it from wherever. You don't need a big office. You don't need a warehouse, because that's the beauty of, for anybody that's listening for the first time, Amazon FBA. You can store your products in Amazon warehouses, third-party warehouses. You never actually have to touch a unit of stock, and that's the beauty of this business model. It's why we're so passionate about it, is because it does give you that flexibility and freedom. But from your perspective, John, as someone who's done this process kind of from its beginning to its end, what makes building a private label brand on Amazon one of the best opportunities? Because let's not kid ourselves, right? There's a number of ways to skin a cat, and an Amazon business is not the only way you could build wealth. It's not the only way to build assets, but why is it a great opportunity right now?
I think right now it really comes down to the influx of billions of dollars coming into the space via
Yeah.
aggregators. And it's not just aggregators, it's private equity firms, it's private buyers who I sold to. So there's a lot of capital coming in to this space.
Yeah.
So, the multiples are higher than ever right now. And so, you know, when you're building something to exit, there's a strategy in there.
Mhm.
You have to do things correctly, and right now is an incredible time to do that
Mhm.
and to exit your business.
Yeah.
So it's one that can be repeated as well. So let's say you build up this beautiful brand, and maybe you exit with Thrasio. You could take those same discipline concepts and continue your journey. And you
Yeah.
could you could probably go into a different category. Typically, when you exit, you have an NDA, you have a non-compete, and so you can't, sometimes you can't compete in the same category. Sometimes it's just the competing with the product, but um, you can definitely replicate the process just because you've learned a lot. You've learned how to do proper cash flow. You've learned how to do inventory projections, so you can take those concepts and do it again.
Yeah. And I think that's another reason why we're so passionate about the business model is because it is a great first time business opportunity because
Mhm.
you don't have to build a website, you don't have to find customers, you just have to put your product in front of customers. Amazon will process your payments, Amazon will ship out your orders, they'll deal with 95% of the customer service. That's not to say there's not work to be done. There's definitely work to be done, but it can be focused on things that as a first time business owner, they're not going to completely overwhelm you. You're not going to have a million things to do. You can get very laser focused. And then, I think that gives us a perfect
Mhm.
opportunity to build a business that, like you say, you could then sell, get some capital, put some in the bank, put some in investments, create some security and safety for your financial future, but then also have some more capital to go again. You've learned lots, and that's what I've done recently. A year ago, we took really everything we've learned in recent years to launch a new brand, with a bit more capital behind us, with a bit more know-how behind us, and looking to build that towards a seven-figure valuation in
Awesome.
3 years, because we've got that kind of the history now, the backlog of knowledge that's helping us do that. And I think
Yeah.
that's what's
Yeah.
going to really help people to build something significant is that first journey, building up some capital, building up some equity, and like you say, I think it's the perfect business model to do that.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, no, that's really good. Yeah. What would you say in terms of like a realistic expectation for anybody that's considering starting to sell on Amazon, maybe wants to check out the FBA Freedom
Mhm.
Challenge, that they're wondering how much money can I make on Amazon? Maybe yeah, talk us through your journey from whatever figures you're able to give, and then also what's realistic for someone getting into this space now in terms of potential earnings.
Yeah, that those numbers are all over the map, but it really comes down to, your targeted net profit. So from the very beginning, when you're researching products, you should have a net profit percentage of between 25 and 35%.
Hmm.
So, realistically, if you have serious capital, you could easily hit multiple six figures on your first year. So
Hmm.
just to give a little perspective, I did 150,000 my first year, and that was all bootstrapped. So that was
Hmm.
bringing in just private cash, nothing crazy. And then my second year, I did over 1.5 million, and that's where outside capital comes in. So I was
Hmm.
using tools similar to sellers funding and excuse me, um, uh, Chase Bank. And
Hmm.
so, outside capital can really grow your business in a really rapid way.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge proponent of not taking money out of your business for
Hmm.
at least the first year.
Yeah.
And the reason why is it allows you to take all your profit that you're making and place those larger inventory orders. And so growing your business with those profits is going to be extremely beneficial. So the moment you start taking money out, that really puts you at a disadvantage because now all that capital that you had made is disappearing.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's really prudent to keep reinvesting those profits that first year. And then I had a scaling model. I was really conservative, so
Mhm.
after my first year, started paying myself a little bit. I think it was like between 1 and 2 thousand a month, and then scaling that over time, and that grew to a really big number. Um, and I think realistically, right around like year two or year three, you can probably replace your income from your day job.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not talking about like doctor salaries, but for the average salary, let's say it's like 75 grand a year.
Mhm.
um, that's definitely achievable.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the time frame that's realistic. And so there is some patience involved because I think a lot of people come into this and they think that it's going to be 6 months and I'm going to have this booming business and I'm going to have all this money. There's a lot of people that pitch that, and so I don't, especially a Black Label Advisor. I don't pitch that at all. And so it takes time, it takes effort, it takes diligence and discipline. And as long as you're okay with that and you have, this focus on the payoff someday of exiting your business, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Um, I think those are realistic
Yeah.
expectations.
I think that's fair, isn't it? That you don't want to get into this thinking that the biggest money you're going to make is the cash flow. It's more about that cash out is the biggest potential in that 2 to 3 year period. Anyway, I always love and reference the Bill Gates quote that we overestimate what we can do in 1 year, but
Mhm.
underestimate what we can do in 10. I think in the private label Amazon space, that's more
Yeah.
like we overestimate what we can do in 3 months, but we underestimate what we can do in 3 years. If you really put some hard work into it, you can build something genuinely life changing in 3 years, which I think is incredible. From our example for this new brand, I've just been like stretched by your. I didn't realize it was so big in the second year. I'd forgot that because I've said to my business partner, look, if we can do 100,000 the first year, 300,000 the second year, and 1 million in the third year, we should roughly have around about a seven-figure brand in terms of valuation
Yeah.
by the end of that third year. And now I'm listening to that, and I think, man, maybe I'm shooting too small. That's 1.5 million in your second year. That's amazing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that really comes down to how aggressive you want to be. Not everyone is going to be that aggressive. Like, for example, when I got my first loan from Amazon Lending, I took it immediately, and so
Yeah,
that can definitely range on a risk analysis because a lot of people. To be honest with you, it was really hard for myself to stomach the debt that I had during the business,
yeah,
just because there's always the risk of your Amazon account being suspended. But thankfully that never happened, and I just continued to use that cheap debt to grow the business.
yeah, definitely. I think there's a balance to find for every appetite of person, isn't there? Someone that wants to grow it slowly and without any debt. There's opportunity to do that. But if you want to take on borrowing to really accelerate the growth, and you can handle maybe the added stress that
Yeah,
that brings,
yeah,
there's the opportunity for that as well. So there's lots of opportunity out there. But I think then from what you're saying, from what we're seeing, to have a goal of a seven-figure brand in 3 years, that seems like a relatively healthy goal without wanting to put words in your mouth.
yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, it just you have to take an approach of delayed gratification.
Yeah.
So it really comes down to patience, being diligent with your product selection, and being just absolutely focused on branding from day one.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And you obviously are a prime example of how that's happened, and
Mhm.
done that journey, and that's why we've partnered up to do the FBA Freedom Challenge. We
Yeah.
want people getting the best training, and that's what we're going to talk about, right? This process of not just how to find a product to sell on Amazon, because that's one thing, but actually the process of building an asset, a business that becomes an asset. Because I get my friends, they sometimes take the mick out of me and think that I love Jeff Bezos and all this kind of stuff, but I've got no affinity with Amazon. I've got no particular love for Jeff Bezos. My
Yeah.
my obsession with the model is the scalability and the flexibility of it. It's not about the means; it's about the end. And the end is assets. It's about
Yeah.
building financial freedom. It's about taking control of your time. So we're going to talk about all of that in the challenge.
Yep.
So each day we're going to have live training from John and myself, and then we're going to have time for Q&A afterwards as well. And so that runs for 5 days from Monday the 24th of January. So if you're listening to this after the fact, don't worry, I'm sure you'll be able to find some info about what's coming up next in the description. But yeah, we're looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to having that input from you, John. I know you do consulting now, so people kind of pay you by the hour, but we're getting some amazing input inside the FBA Freedom Challenger there, and
Yeah,
hopefully
absolutely.
people enjoy that. Is there anything in particular that you're looking forward to about the challenge?
I think I'm looking forward to seeing people take action and
Yeah.
just the realization of what can happen once that action is taken, and then seeing the fruits of that, grow into something else.
So good, yeah, and we've got some amazing prizes as well to give away.
We do,
We are
yeah.
100% incentivizing people to take action. So the prize system inside the challenge is all related to the action steps you take. If you complete the assignments, then you're going to get more entries to win prizes. We've got some amazing prizes to give away, from mentoring to software packages, some amazing stuff. And I know, John, you're very well connected in the space, and so got some great partners for us lined up, and
Absolutely.
super excited
Yeah,
about
we
that
got
as well.
some real goodies.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. Well, that's kind of the FBA Freedom Challenge, sort of wrapped up. 5 days to talk about how to build your freedom business on Amazon. John, is there anything else that you want people to know before we finish up for today?
No, just excited to get started. I think it's going to be a fun journey for a lot of people, and it's going to be collaborative in the Facebook group. So there's going to be a lot of sellers helping sellers, and then obviously you and I will be there to answer questions. But it's going to be real fun.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to it. Very, very excited. And we are, all the details to join us are below in the description. So I'd highly recommend coming along. It's free entry. It's just about turning up, taking action. We're going to have an amazing week, so definitely don't miss out. John, thanks for jumping us on for this brief episode to talk about the process of building assets via Amazon, and all about the FBA Freedom Challenge.
Absolutely.
We'll see you soon. Well, there we have it, folks. The FBA Freedom Challenge doors are open. So join us inside the challenge for 5 days of the most highly valuable training you could attend this year for completely free with myself and John. We're so pumped to welcome you. All you need to do is follow the details in the description below. If you are listening to this after the challenge has closed, do not worry. Make sure you're subscribed, got notifications on, and we will keep you fully informed about more events coming up very, very soon. Exciting things coming up. It's going to be an incredible year, and we can't wait to do it with you guys. All right, we'll see you in the FBA Freedom Challenge real soon.